Welcome back to Trots TV. It's time for On Trial this week. I've gone inside all of the trials and I found 3 horses that I think will perform very well at the racetrack when we do see them in a race. In fact, the first one I want to show you is a horse that trialled at Newcastle last Wednesday. So that was the 30th of March, a horse by the name of Scottish Duchess. Now, unfortunately, she did compete at the non-tab meeting at Muswellbrook on the weekend, and she actually won there at double-figure odds. But I think it's worth highlighting her performance because it was a very good effort at the trials, and she's obviously in race-winning form, and she's only very lightly assessed. So let's have a look at this performance of Scottish Duchess. Formerly trained by Shane Tritton, she actually raced in New Zealand, came across to New South Wales, fell at her first race start here, and she's only had a couple of starts since, and she's joined a new team. So I think we can follow this mare. Tony Griffiths is now training her. She showed very good speed out of the gate. She was straight to the top before handing the lead over. Importantly, the first quarter of the trial was the fastest, and that's when she was doing all the work. They went 28-1 out of the gate. When she handed the lead over, she wanted to relax, which is always a good sign. Look, she hasn't done much at her couple of runs for Shane Tritton, but she's had a very long time off the scene. So good to see her back at the trials and performing like this. Overall, the mile rate was okay. She went 1:57.6. The last half was a touch slow in 59.5. And she's obviously going to need to go quicker than that when she gets to the tab races. Her last half at Muswellbrook wasn't quick, but she did come off the second row draw there. So I think we can follow her with a little bit of confidence, especially as she's assessed so lowly. So a Scottish Duchess, horse that competed in trial number 4 at Newcastle on the 30th of March. A couple of horses I want to show you out of trials on Monday. The first of these was at Menangle on a Monday afternoon. It was trial number 1, and the horse's name was Tingira Beach. Now this one is trained by Shane Tritton, a 2-year-old, and showed very good gate speed before handing over to the stablemate High Rolling. So the gate speed's there, which is very important. And then we saw the horse relax. He is a Some Beach Somewhere, so that's another key. The Some Beach Somewheres can tend to get a little bit fired up in their racing pattern, but he didn't want to over race. And driven by Nathan Giles in the trial, the horse relaxed, races comfortably within himself, and then turning for home, Nathan Giles is very quickly off the stablemate's back, High Rolling. Now Lauren Pinella just gives High Rolling a couple of slaps to try and make it go with Tingira Beach, but Tingira Beach just races away comfortably. Nathan Giles then gives the trial winner a couple of slaps to keep his mind on the job when he goes past the stablemate, and I thought the effort was really good. Tingira Beach, he's unraced. He's gone 1:55.7, so the time was very good. He was home in 56.7 and up the straight in 28. So the sectionals were there to suggest that he's a nice 2-year-old on the way through, and I think we can follow him with a bit of confidence, Tingira Beach. And finally, I've got one at Bathurst to show you on Monday night. Now this is trial number 6, and this horse actually runs 3rd in the race. The trial winner is Might and Main, the 2-year-old filly that competed in the Bathurst Gold Tiara for Bernie Hewitt. Actually tipped her to win. I thought her effort in her heat behind the eventual winner of the series, Don't Think Twice, was really good. She had to do a lot of work on that occasion, but the horse I want to show you is a 3-year-old. So he was taking on a couple of different age groups here in this trial. His name is Sabraj, and Steve Turnbull has the horse. He's a former Kiwi. He actually, at the second race start that Lazarus had in New Zealand, he went around in the race. Now, he was beaten a long way. He's nowhere near Lazarus class, but I thought this performance was pretty good. Out of the gate, the horse was asked to go forward. Then he was going to get trapped deep, so they grabbed hold. They went back to the inside, and he ended up 5 back on the marker pegs. Now, inside the final lap, happy to sit where Sabraj was. There was no need to get him out 2, 3 or 4 wide on the track. Horses in front of him started to make a move, and the 2 leaders got away, but the 2 horses in front of him in 3rd and 4th position then decided to effectively go. There was one on the pegs and one off, so Sabraj didn't have anywhere to go. Decision was made to wait behind the horse on the pegs and wait for a split to open rather than shoot out 3 wide on the turn. When the gap did come, the 2 leaders were off and gone, and Sabraj, under a very strong hold up the straight, hits the line full of running. He looks like he's going to win some races for the Turnbull stable. I really like the performance, and the times, they were super. 1:57.5 mile rate for the short trip at Bathurst. They went 56.5 their last half. Sabrage's last half very, very quick considering where he was, and up the straight in 28.1. And, well, Steve's absolutely swinging to Sabrage in the last little bit. So I think he's a pretty nice 3-year-old that's going to definitely win some races, and he doesn't have a lot to say in his form. Despite taking on a horse like Lazarus, he did finish 10th in that race. So Sabrage is the third horse that is going on trial this week. So the 3 horses again, if you want to write them down, jot them down and follow them. Scottish Duchess. Now, we have already missed her because she did race at Muswellbrook over the weekend at the non-tabbers, and she did win there. But I think she's going to win at the tab meetings pretty soon, so we'll mark her down. We've also got Tingira Beach, an unraced 2-year-old from the Shane Tritton stable. And I think we'll stick with Steve Turnbull's Sabrage, who trialled at Bathurst and finished 3rd in trial number 6 on Monday night. That's on trial for another week. Catch you again next week with some horses to follow from the trials.